Recording in progress.
Just right there. Oh, okay. Does it say, if you don't tell me, I don't know what to do with my hands?
Recording stopped.
Ooh. Plus, forewarning, my coaches know this. I get a microphone in front of me and I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, do I lick
Recording in progress.
All right, we are now being joined by DeAnna Bennett. We'll begin with a few questions here in the room from the media. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, DeAnna.
Hello.
Congratulations on your win. That's very impressive. First off, how does it feel to live your dream of competing in the Bay Area, and how was that atmosphere as you came out and that standing ovation you got?
Honestly, I never expected that. Like, anyone that knows me, I said it before, like I'm just a weird kid that likes to fight. I've been socially awkward my whole life, and like some people get the mute DeAnna, which is most people, and then once you break that barrier, you can ask my coach behind you. He's like, this girl doesn't ever shut up. And just feeling when I'm sitting out there, I'm staged, ready to walk across that platform, like I could hear the people in the audience, and like they said my name, and I'm like, oh, they're cheering for me. That's weird. Like, this is amazing. And it just adds a whole nother level to the excitement that I felt when I got into that cage. You know, I got into that cage, I look around, this is an arena that I've been to, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, like for various different things. And so for me to be the athlete competing in this arena, I wasn't emotional before the fight, but I wasn't kidding when I told McCarthy, I was like, I just might ugly cry right now. And my face is a little bunched from the fight. And so it's going to be like, I'm sorry, I made that sound.
And competing in the Bay Area, would you say that was extra motivation for how strong you look tonight, just knowing this was a very important and emotional night for you?
Yes, it meant everything to me. You know, I'm born and raised in the Bay Area. I'm from Fremont. I went to American high school. That's, you know, my start of my fight career. You can bring it back to high school because I wrestled back in high school with the guys. There's actually several of the guys that were on my wrestling team that were out in the audience. My friend Tony, I saw him. He's like, DeAnna. And I'm like, these are the guys that I wrestled with that knew that I had the athletic potential for something back then. And so to be able to bring that full circle and to be performing in the Bay Area, it, you know, there was no quit in me. I wanted that win, and I wanted that first round finish, honestly. I was trying, but you know, she's tough, and sometimes you can't pull it off. You just have to keep on going. And you know, it felt so great to make that happen.
I noticed in the second round she appeared a little fatigued and tired, and you were the fresher of the two. Do you feel that first round really shook up her confidence with how you know fierce you came at her and you took her to the ground and you were going for the finish multiple times? Do you feel you really shook her confidence given Alejandra's background and her caliber?
You know, like I said, she's a very tough opponent. She was ranked number 5 for a reason. You know, she's one of the top in this division in Bellator. And you know, that's my game plan. That's what I want to do. That's my whole thing. You ask my training partners, like half of them, they hate going with me. Even this big guy right behind you, he's like, you get on top and like, what is this? Like, I'm a large guy. Why am I having a hard time getting you off of me? And that's my plan. You know, I want to smother. I want you to have to dig deep. And, you know, it takes a lot out of you. Like my training partner afterwards, like, I hate you. Like, what's wrong? Get off of me. And I'm like, well, that's just what I do. You got hit by the D train. So there you go.
So what's next for you, DeAnna? What would you like next? A rematch with Liz Carmouche, another crack at one of the top flyweights? What's next for you?
I definitely see a rematch with Liz Carmouche in the future. Not necessarily the next one. She's had a couple of wins, and I believe she rightfully is the next in line for the title shot. I believe she deserves it with everything that she's done, and she's an excellent competitor. You know, Alejandra was number 5. I want, you know, there's 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, there's some stuff that I need to take care of for me before I can get back into this cage. I want to as soon as possible, but you know, we don't have to go into that and make me cry again, but I think you know what I mean. That's something that I need to take care of on my own and get right before I can even commit to another fight. But hopefully I can get that cleared up and taken care of quickly, because there's no place in the world I would rather be than be in the Bellator cage, taking one of the next ranked people into that deep water. 100%.
Awesome.
Sorry, I have a dry mouth, and so I'm like,
no worries. Last question for you, DeAnna. What will you take away the most from this experience tonight?
Oh man, it's been such a great night, and I've had a lot of people be like, "Oh, you're still doing this? Oh, you're still fighting?" And I'm like, honestly, a couple of hiccups aside, like I feel like I'm in my prime in the sport since finding my coach in Jersey, Brian Wright, and the team over at Killer Bee and Dante Rivera, the places that I train. Since going there, I found that I'm a different fighter. Like him as a coach has motivated me to be a better fighter, and he pushes me every day to be a better fighter. And so I feel like I have what it takes to get to the top. And that's what I take away from today. Like I came in here with a number 5 ranked girl, and I got my hand raised, and I'm ready to do it again. I want to get to the top for me, for my team, for my dad. Like I said before, his last words to me, literally, he couldn't string together sentences because of where the biggest brain tumor was. All he could say is 1 or 2 words, and the words that he chose to me was fight. And he'd throw his hands. He'd say fight and throw his hands. And like, that's the legacy that I want to live up to. He knew that that's what I wanted to do, and that was what I meant to do. And so I want to fulfill that and get my way to the top.
Awesome. Thanks, DeAnna. If I may also say, they gave you a really cool Titantron. It had a really cool, like, Captain Marvel, Avengers Infinity War color scheme. I loved it.
That.
So congratulations and welcome home.
Thank you so much.
And DeAnna, we'll take a couple more here.
Oh,
Shay?
Hey, thanks very much.
Hey.
Yep, perfect. Congratulations on the win tonight, DeAnna. A couple of quick ones for me. In the 3rd round, that up kick, we saw you kind of looking at the screens after that. Were you trying to see how well you caught her, or?
No. I felt how it hit, and I know she was trying to jump over my legs, and I was like, no, get back. I don't want this right now. It was more, honestly, I know you're not supposed to look at the time. My coach was probably going to yell at me later for that. He's probably going to kick me in the liver. But I wanted to see how much time that I had left, because it was kind of my gauge as to where I was going to go next, whether I wanted to make like a big drastic move to try and shoot forward, or if I was going to try and play around a little bit more and try and pick my shots that way. That's one of the things that I've been working a lot with my coach Dante Rivera, is working the up kicks, because I go with these guys at the gym and they're like these amazing wrestler monsters, and so I find myself on my back. And so over at that gym, with the guidance of my head coach Brian, between Brian and Dante, we've been working on those up kicks, and we've been working on what to do if we get put into that position. And so I kind of wanted to kind of see what my options were. And I know I'm not supposed to look at the clock. It is what it is. But, sometimes, it just kind of happens. You get stuck on your back, and that's what you do. So.
All right, 1 or 2 more here. Sean?
Yeah, congratulations on a big win. For you, talk about building consistency upon this win. You came into your career on an undefeated streak, leading to the Victor C title. So talk about that.
Sorry, I missed that last part.
Oh, you talk about building your consistency.
Oh, yes.
Into your and to lean onto another streak like you did when you started your career.
Yeah. I started my career strong. I went 8-0 against tough competitors. I've always been one that, if they say, hey, we want you to fight so-and-so, I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I should probably ask my coach. But I mean, it's still okay, because I want to fight anyone. Like, I don't care. I don't care who you put in front of me. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to win. And I'm at the point right now where, I've been in this game for so long. I've had so many fights. I have a great team that's behind me. And so I want to build off of this momentum, and I want to keep going forward. I want to be the best fighter that I can be. My coach, thankfully I'm taking a trip to Utah, or else I would be back in the gym Monday morning, just ready to go. Like, okay, we train now. And he's like, do I have to kick you out of the gym again? Like, do you go home? And I'm like, I thought this is my home. Is this not where I live? But he watches the cameras. He does know I live there. But I want to keep improving. I definitely know some stuff today that I can work on when it comes to the fights. And so I'm gonna come back next time a better fighter, and I'm gonna do what I can to get there and build that consistency and build that streak.
Chris?
Hey, DeAnna, Chris Connor here. Last call. Congrats on a great performance. Hey, you and I have talked several times. Your career's always been like just setbacks, whether it was the hip injury against Liz Carmouche, dealing with either promotional problems or boyfriend problems, weight problems. This, for your camp, it was always, this problem was, hey, we had to now move from July to September. How nice did it feel just everything, with everything that had gone on with your father, with your, former boyfriends, with injuries, that this was probably to date your best performance in terms of just the striking, the composure, the wrestling. Was this, for you, the perfect fight in terms of your execution of the game plan?
Honestly, it was definitely great. Me and my team, every day we worked the possibilities, what could happen, and having the fight pushed back a couple of times, there were some issues that came in with that. But in the end, it did give us more time in the gym to kind of fine tune things and to work on stuff and to make sure that I was ready for whatever she was going to throw at me. And so, I had my fair share of problems this camp. Like, I won't even go into the different things. We'll just say at one point I got my eye cut open and I trusted my coach to actually super glue my eye shut, or super glue my eye, and he actually super glued my eye shut. And I've been waiting for like 2 months to tell that story because I couldn't put it on social media before the fight. And he's throwing a fit in the corner because I just called him out. But yeah, don't ever trust Brian Wright to super glue your eye cut. You're welcome. But I've had multiple injuries through this fight camp, and I say that in love. Like, I love my coach to death. He's great. Just super glue away from the eye, 100%. No super glue near him. But things kind of worked out. And again, a lot of that comes with working with him as a coach. Coaching isn't just physical. Coaching is also mental. You have to have your fighter mentally prepared to be able to get to that cage. And he's helped me out with both aspects. And I think that's what really led to me having the performance that I did.
All right, DeAnna, thank you so much for the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.